All right, guys, I'm here with my boy Taylor O'Brien. He's straight from the boot. Hey, shout out to all my Southern family. Taylor, we so glad to have you here, man. Thanks for coming out. You were here to shoot the LSU game. We hit you up. We've been a fan of your work for a long time. Man, just to get things going, how did you even get started in like recording these dope shots and you started with fitness, right?
Yeah,
From what I could tell, you started in
fitness.
fitness. How did you kind of translate fitness over into sports? Like, how did you get started? Your media story.
Right. Well, I appreciate y'all having me. I love y'all's setup. I love what y'all are doing with y'all area in Orlando. So basically, everything kind of started from me getting bored of the same routine. I work 7 and 7 in the oil field. So I have a lot of downtime when I'm at work. When I say 7 and 7, I'm on location in Port Fourchon, and I can't leave the base for 7 days. And I'm on 24-hour call. So after you watch all your Netflix series and there's nothing to do, you've got YouTube. So I wanted to learn how to be more a fitness trainer, and I was always into fitness, so that's what I ran with. But whenever I started fitness, I wanted to record myself in a way that was different than a cookie cutter program. A lot of times you buy a fitness program, it's push-ups, pull-ups. You can only squat so many different ways, you know what I mean? But I got certified in NASM and I started training my fitness clients. What was the difference between me and other trainers compared to charging $40 a session versus $1,200 for a 90-day program is your delivery and then your client engagement. So how do you personalize that more is by becoming more personal through identifying who that person is.
Right.
And how do you do that? Through the camera. And I never realized, you know, just from recording myself and explaining the workouts, I was using this free little app, you know, to like write out how to do the exercise. And I just became obsessed with it. And then we dropped a few testimonials. And once the testimonials hit, I just kept getting more fitness clients. And then I was to the point to where it's like, I'm loving this, but like I'm really loving this camera. So I would try to video something else. And my buddy owned a bunch of bulldogs, French bulldogs. Did one bulldog video, now every bulldog owner is like trying to get me a video. So you just gotta try different things. And then remember, like, you are the niche. Like if you're the creator, don't confine yourself. Someone's like, I hate real estate. Do something else, bro. You know, you're gifted from your talent.
You ain't lying. So how'd you make that transition from fitness into sports now?
So I love the fitness. I always brought the camera with me whenever I would record. In fact, I had moved to Texas in a new area. I saw this strong man who was training, videoed him, and he went from 200 followers to over 20K just from like putting that pressure on there. So, I mean, I guess to answer your question, like, it's just trying something new and then seeing, like, where you can make improvements. Because it's all about the type of person I am, like, I'll get the trophy and then I'll go for the next one. Like, it just doesn't end. And we think once we get to here, we'll be good. It's a disease, you know, at that point. But that's how it goes.
You ain't lying. So, man, what we want to kind of harbor on people is like, what kind of equipment did you even start with? Because a lot of times people believe we start with the R5C, we start with the R5. What kind of camera did you start your journey on creating?
iPhone.
I
mean, you recording your fitness clients, and a lot of people, if you get a skilled person with a camera, you might not be able to tell it's an iPhone. There's movies made on iPhone. So any advice to anyone who doesn't have the funds is just study how to make, you know, shots with your phone. Here's the number one advice I could give to anyone, and it just changes the game. Literally put your foot and your weight on one side, tuck your arms like you're a T-Rex, and then hit the focus. If you could put something in the background right here, even better, and just shift your weight and then shift it back.
That handheld shots go a long way, man.
Do that?
For like years, that's all I was doing was handheld, and then gimbals came out. Then we started using gimbals, and now we're back to handheld because it's more raw, looks a lot better. I mean, I came from the wedding industry before I did sports, so with weddings, I always did a lot of handheld because I need to be crammed into different spaces and stuff like that. And just transition those skills into sports in the house. But man, that's a great point. You got to start with what you pretty much have. The best equipment is equipment that you actually got in hands reach. And then you can start adding on things, you know, get something better, and kind of progress it along.
Right.
So man, a lot of what we see on social media with you in particular, you're doing a lot of cool stuff with LSU. And that's probably what a lot of people want to hear about. That's a lot of people know you for. Yeah. How'd you become the LSU guy on social media?
Yeah, well, so I came to LSU about a year ago. Ended up separating with my wife from Houston area. So I'm like, man, where I'm going to go? I'm working in Fourchon for 7 days. I'm home for 7 days.
Yeah.
My boy lived in Baton Rouge. So I'm like, man, I'm coming to Baton Rouge.
Yeah, made sense.
And I went on the sideline and I started recording for a camp and ended up, it was high school players trying out in front of the coaches and just started posting those videos. Yeah. And it was turned into a hot commodity. And it was like, damn, this fire. And then people started acknowledging it. And you never realize that you're good until like someone tells you. Like we all might be like, man, I'm good. And I just wish people would know that. But when people start giving you those flowers, like it hits different. And then from there, I had a video go viral at Alabama, and I had an attorney do a spinoff with my video. But I hit up Gordon and them because they were big in the athletic space, and I was always one for the student athlete, and they were big in that. So I just saw it as an opportunity to expand what I can do on a level that Gordon is on, because he's the biggest in the game, and it's like my gifts combined with his abilities and gifts, we could just impact so much more people.
Now let's rewind a little bit. For a lot of people, they might not know who Gordon is. So NIL is a big thing, and that's what Gordon's trying to do. So who is Gordon, and what is he doing differently in this NIL market when it comes to creating media as his NIL vehicle for these players?
Yeah, that's a good question. So most towns have their injury lawyer or big time city lawyer. Gordon McKernan is that in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. And he comes from 30 years in the business and just a good, solid dude. And what he does is he looks for players with these interesting comeback stories. His first NIL athlete was Alexis Morris, who was a LSU women's basketball player that played with Kim Mulkey. And then she got cut. Kim Mulkey cut her, and then she ended up coming back for Kim, and then they won the whole thing. So like hero stories like that. But what Gordon does is he'll sign these NIL deals, which is name, image, and likeness, that allows players to get paid off of their image, because these universities are making pretty, solid
been making money off the players.
Now it's an ability to have these players do that and support themselves through school, because not everybody's going to go to the pros, and then from there it's an adjustment. So having the ability to market these athletes amongst business, there's Raising Cane's, there's Walk-Ons, there's all these local businesses that can put them up on a billboard and really introduce these players to your local community. And that's the biggest thing that NIL does for people, and Gordon recognized that, and what he does is like to humanize them, because you only hear what the media tells you, but
that's true.
I know Angel differently from what
than what
the
people
media
see on the
tells
TV.
You. Harold Perkins is like, he's a savage in real life, but he's cool. You wouldn't know that if there wasn't an NIL.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah. So it's definitely showed a tremendous amount of growth socially for the page, because when you collab with somebody on a post, it shows to their audience and yours. So collabing with an athlete who has 50,000 followers is going to be good for your business.
It's going to be way better.
Yeah. And you're going to have to end up, it's marketing, so pay to support a local athlete. It's good for the business, and it's good for the reach on social media.
Yep, because all those athletes have parents. And then you know how mama do. They're going to share it. Auntie going to share it. Cousin going to share it. So that goes for even high school level. Because that's probably how you kind of got a lot of your reach. It's like those parents start seeing those videos. The coach start posting it. The athlete's going to repost it. So you get all this new energy for the team, and the players get seen too. And it's a positive on the players too. So how can somebody, what would you suggest to somebody to meet somebody like a Gordon? Like maybe somebody, because a lot of times people are like, well, how'd you meet him? Like, how do I meet somebody like that? And sometimes it's kind of hard to exactly show our process, but what are some tips you could kind of give people on how that relationship kind of naturally came? Because from what I gather, it was a natural relationship from your skill set that developed over time. Yeah,
so I didn't know Gordon at all before all of this. So he don't know me from a can of corn. You know what I mean? So it's like I shot my shot. And what people are not everybody, but most people are afraid to get rejected or get embarrassed or hurt their pride. You got to shoot them DMs.
Yep.
We in 2023, you can get in
what
touch
happens.
with anybody.
Yep.
Like big time creators, I'm in their inbox asking questions. What you using? Because guess what? Like eventually they might hit you back, and before I'm like, why aren't they hitting me back?
Yeah, it might take a month, but they still hit you up.
But I get it now. And it's like
time.
121 message requests, like you don't have time to cover them. But eventually when I do, like in 2 o'clock in the morning sometimes, I'll go hit a bunch of people back and they're like, oh my God, I can't believe this.
Yeah, he actually told me what he uses.
But for Gordon, I shot my shot. I offered him value. I didn't come in there asking for a job, asking for this. I said, hey, this is what I got, this is what I could do. And then eventually somebody's gonna take that. But I would not try to, here's what I would not do when looking for something, is try to explain your value to someone who doesn't already get it. Because I had my work cut out, because Gordon's team that he has in place, Alex, the marketing director, he's the one who searched me out. Because if they don't understand the value and how much money they're gonna save, because hiring an in-house videographer is gonna save you some money, you know, because most jobs I come out to is $5,000 just to come out.
Correct.
Now, if I'm producing a video every day as an 8 to 5 W-2 employee, you're saving some jack, you know. So it's beneficial to both sides. I don't have to go out there and search and hunt for jobs. I could be a soldier and do what I do best.
Makes sense.
With a team he provides. So you just gotta, you can freelance, make all the money, handle all the business side of things, or you could team up with someone who understands the value and is ready to invest in you.
Right. And also having that portfolio helps.
Exactly.
So when they start reaching out, a lot of
post.
people come in too early too. Like, hey, go out there, like you said, you did high school games. Do the work first.
Correct.
Before you start reaching out to these people. Because you got to look the part. They're like, hey, man, this is a hidden talent. He's doing some crazy stuff.
Yeah, because presentation is everything. That's what makes us as creators valuable, is how you present. There's a problem, and then there's a solution, and you take them there through your creative work.
Correct.
And if there's no problem presented, there's no solution they need. It's not painful
you're
enough
not solving
for them to
anything.
fix it.
Marketing
Correct.
101.
Exactly.
Got to solve a problem.
You got to.
So I know a lot of people want us to get to the gear, like what you use on the field, like how you get the shots, because they just want to go buy what you got and get the shots. They're like, I want to shoot like him.
Yeah.
So what's the camera you're using right now? What's your go-to camera on the field?
Canon R5. I started with a Canon because my buddy had a Canon. R6 was my first Canon. And then I discovered 4K 120, which is slow motion. The R6 did not have 4K
not really
120.
good slow motion. Yeah, no, it doesn't have it at all. But
so I got the R5 and I shoot a 70-200. I was normally shooting with an external monitor, but I break a HDMI cord every shoot.
Yeah, that's true.
So I dished it last night, and during the game, what I was doing is here's a secret tip for fat. It was like, how you got the video out for halftime so fast? And here's the secret. I'll give you game. All you do is whenever you're recording, if you get a good clip, cover the lens, hit record for 2 seconds. So when you pull all your files in the computer, every clip before the black frame, you know what's good. I grabbed them all, threw them in my timeline.
That's
chop,
smart.
chop, chop.
Yeah.
And then I scrolled Instagram real quick, found an audio, and like the second swipe, added it, and just so happens, if you kind of edit your stuff based off how beats hit. Beats are usually every 1.7 seconds, or they're always different.
Right.
You're going to find that right song, and you just match those cuts to a beat or a drop. Match it to the best drop, but don't have that drop 20 seconds down the road. Have that drop at 2 or 3.
Right.
Yeah, get them
Don't
hooked.
make them wait too long
for
the drop.
You got to put your best stuff in the front for short form.
So, like, positioning on the field, like, where are you at on the field when it comes to defense? Let's go with defense first. Like, what's that look like?
So
that seems to
I'm
always
either
be
in
the
the
hardest
corner.
one.
I'm either in the corner of the end zone or right behind the goalpost. 2 reasons. The corner allows you to get lower and more diagonal. If you on the side, you got the other fans on the side, and you got the other coaches, and it's messy.
Yeah, look.
Their eyes don't know where to look. And what makes a good video is directing the viewer's eyes.
Right.
And that's why you see a lot of my content is in your face flashing.
Yeah.
But everything is kind of hitting in the same location. I don't have a transition coming in from the top, whereas the next picture's coming in.
Yeah. Different framings, not all over the
I try
place.
to have the least amount of stress for the viewer to where their eye just moves where I want it.
Correct.
So whenever you're filming your shots and it's messy, you could avoid that by getting low or getting in the corner. And then the back of the end zone, underneath the goalpost, is where the TV hits on a field goal.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there you go. You want to be on TV, you get that.
That makes sense.
So, a few little tricks, that's what I do.
And then offense, does it look the same, a little bit different?
Offense, I get at the end zone where they're coming to. So, like, if we driving downfield, I'm going to where they're going to catch the touchdown.
Right.
So, I'm always, like, against them on that. And then whenever, like, they're driving, sometimes I'll do the same thing.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
So, like, positioning on the floor even. Like, what does that look like? You got a hi-hat? You just handheld? What are you doing?
I'm handheld. I see a lot of, I've tried the hi-hat. I've tried the mini tripods. I got to be able to move.
Yeah, you got to quick.
Yeah, I'll put it on the ground and, like, I'm moving.
Yeah.
Because you got everybody running up on you.
Yep.
You got ESPN who can just jump in front of you.
All the time, too.
All the time.
And
they don't care, bro. Yeah, they don't care.
You can't get mad at them. They ESPN.
I used to get mad when people got in my shot.
Yeah, but you can't.
Now I use it as a wipe transition.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I'm
That's smart.
Yeah, I'm good with it. I welcome it. Yeah.
That's smart, man.
You got to.
So, getting into games, a lot of people have questions about that. How do you get into your games, whether it be LSU or any other game that you're trying to get into? Do you think it's because of your credentials already in the football market, or what would you kind of recommend to somebody watching this that's trying to get into a higher level game that's past high school?
Yeah. Well, nobody knew me last year, so anybody can do it. What you got to do is seek out a media company or a podcast company that has the credentials to reporting on the game. So if you know a local ESPN or if you know a local news channel, you always see reporting about this. Reach out to them and say, hey, look, I'm willing, if you would get credentials, I'll share the content with you, free of charge, collab. You know, if you can't afford to shoot it for free, it's going to be a grind.
Yeah, it's going to be a minute.
Yeah, you're doing this for your gift and talent. You're not doing this to make it. When you start doing it as a place to pay the bills, people could feel that. So when you're creating out of a place of desperation or survival, it's tough. So have the means to have something else. This won't, provide for your family off top. But at the same time, you have to shoot your shot. And what's going to happen when they see that DM, they're going to hit your page, and your stuff needs to be there. You can't have 2 posts and scared to post. You need to have 1,500 posts, and they could have a menu. I don't even have a website. I have a link tree that links off into all kinds of stuff. And you have to make it easy, because if they click something and it takes them to a link that's broken, or if they got to copy and pay, they're done.
Right.
They're done.
Makes sense.
It's just like providing social media content. If you don't get to your points, they're gone. So make it easy for your viewer. Make it easy for whoever is checking out your work, and have work for them to look at. So that's the thing. Is like they got to be able to easily identify what are you doing.
And that makes sense, because we have a press company. So we have a company that writes articles for games. So that's how we get our credentials. So we're credentialed for USF, UCF. We went to the LSU game. I think it was the Cheez-It Bowl last year, and the FSU Cheez-It Bowl versus Purdue. So 100%, because we look for shooters too. And what we look for is, first of all, can you even shoot?
Right.
Do you have the equipment? Do you have a 7200 at least? A 7200, if it's a night game, do you have like an R5 that's not going to be so noisy that we're going to have to clean it up? And you're right. I look at the portfolio, look through, is it empty? And how long have you been doing it? Have you been doing a whole lot of high school teams? That's great. That's fine. That means you at least know. And if you can shoot high school in those dark lights, I'll trust you to go shoot USF, UCF any day. But so I want to switch to another viral moment of yours that you had last year. With the basketball coach for LSU women's team. You started a new trajectory for your marketing, your brand. So what do you think really resonated with people with that recording? Now, she dresses fly. That's one thing. She's but fly. What do you think resonated with people with those recordings that you were doing of the coach?
I think it was her just ability to be so raw and real, and not worry about like the backlash of social media from her acting as herself. People think she puts on for the camera. Kim is just a Southern Louisiana good woman. Like she cares, and it shows. And these these athletes respect her because you got some big. You dealing with Flaugier and Angel, and like tensions heated on the court. There ain't too many people that can like help guide that, and she does that. So she has a big story. She's a legend in the state. She won when she was younger. She won when she was older. I didn't know who she was, but I've seen her at the corner of my eye react before, and I'm like, what is this? And I saw the photographer just kept laughing and like showing me their photos. I'm like, all right, bet. So I was like, I hit on slow-mo, and that clip, I think it's at like 25 million right now, and it's like 45 million on YouTube. It's crazy. Just, so I just doubled down on it, and I think the biggest part of that was just showing the world like what a strong and fierce like woman she was. I find that's the biggest feedback I get is really putting women's sports on the map because people are like no one cared, which is sad, but it's the world we live in. But I mean now it's a whole different league, and they're gonna win.
Everybody looking at LSU.
Look, they're gonna win
at women's sports a lot better right now.
They're gonna win it again,
especially college women's sports right now.
Yeah.
So with those shots, the biggest thing I always saw with those was I was like, man, he took it away from basketball for a moment, and he took people behind the scenes. That's what I really saw that I liked from it. Because I was like, oh, this is dope because this is a part of basketball I'm always focused on shooting the players. Right. But you capturing the authenticity of the coaches is a lot cooler. It's like another side of it.
Yeah, because my first game filming basketball, I didn't know what to do. I was like, this is so fast. And I'm like,
it's super fast.
I can't get numb. And I was fascinated.
There's a highlight every second.
Yeah, I was fascinated by how the women, how aggressive they compete. And I've never seen that. And I was just like, boy, they under the goal, like jabbing, like hard. I'm like, they are tough. Like, women's sports is no joke. But that was always fascinating to me. And then they just kept winning. And I'm like, man, this is fun. Didn't realize we was on the best team.
Right, you're on the best team.
I'm like, man, is it always like this?
Like it can be. It's pretty decent.
Yeah, I like it. But
that helps.
I'll
that helps get those moments. So what do you have next? You just shot the LSU game, LSU versus FSU.
Yeah.
What's next in your agenda this year?
Yeah.
Season started now.
Right. Season started is go time. So I'm more locked in on football. I've done pushed all extra jobs to the side. A lot of people reach out to me for work. I have a huge network of creators that I refer people to in different areas. So right now I'm just focused on that. Right now today I'm stopping here, and then at 2:30 I'm going to another production company. And they actually came down to consult us, Big Boy Media, and I'm going to see his process now. And I'm just kind of learning workflows and processes. We have the firm in a place right now where we have a team put in place and trained to where this is the first time I feel like I could breathe and walk away because we've put people like Caleb, he's an editor, Luke, he's a student photographer, and then we're working with Big Boy Media. Meredith's running social media. Like we got Molly controlling Bill. Like once you take yourself away, then you can step and grab a camera when you want to, and it's cool. So we just building workflows, and we're learning production process. It's something that I'm not familiar with coming in from a YouTube background, but I'm just doing what I've learned on YouTube. But I gotta see what, like you guys, like this is a setup that can be recreated. You just gotta see how it's
you just
done.
gotta see it. Okay, they got a light over here, over there. Okay, I see what they did there.
I had a little guy come with me on a shoot because I was the same way. I'd reach out to people. I'm like, hey, can I just tag along, get behind the scenes? I think that's an underutilized value, is offering yourself as a behind-the-scenes photographer, because we are always focused on the shoot. If we would pay, $1,000 to have another videographer with us, or $100, it don't matter. Some people, you tell them come work for free, and they'll give you some work, and if it's good, buy the raws off of them. I just did that for a kid. He was 17. I had no idea, but his work was so good. Like, come along with us. And this is what he did. He posted the video and sent me a collab. Didn't even ask me to review the video. I'm like, you like me, bro. And it was cold.
Like, okay.
Yeah, and he's running around with a $5,000 camera, 17 in high school.
Lord.
After the shoot, I'm by the road. This lady pulls up in the car. I'm like, can I help you? She's like, I'm here to pick up my son. I was like, man, this boy ain't even old enough to drive.
He ain't got a car? Like, come on, man.
I said, you got a solid boy right here. So, and I paid him first raw.
Yeah,
I got his content. So, offer yourself as a BTS photographer.
Yeah.
Is what I say to new people. Too nervous to book their own shoots, but it allows you to get some reps in and you learn processes.
Yeah, that's all that matters.
Yeah.
Hey man, well I appreciate you, bro.
Yeah.
Man, it was great chopping it up with you.
Yeah.
Like you say, you man of your word. We hit you up early a long time ago, just asking you questions because we weren't even shooting in the field yet. And a lot of your advice came in handy, you know, even for us as well. So we appreciate you coming to the studio and, you know, kicking it with us. And hey, much luck, much love to you, bro. We're gonna be checking you out.
Definitely.
And we hope everybody follows you. Go ahead and give your Instagram, TikTok, all that name.
Yeah.
To the people for me.
Yeah, Instagram's at Tailored Technique, TAILORED TECHNIQUE. And then for TikTok, it's Tailored_Technique. Other than that, man, I appreciate y'all having me.
No problem, man.
Any student athlete, the best advice I would give to you is become best friends with the man with the camera. No matter if he's good, if he's bad, you can call him up quick, and that's the difference between exposure or being too cool because you're waiting for the right moment. You got to get the volume out there, and you got to get your face because it's going to make the difference between if you're signed or if you don't have a following. So it's money now.
And following is super important with NILs. The more footage you got out there, the more people are seeing you as a student athlete.
That's it.
Those are the people that, you know, the Gordons are going to want to talk with. And these people are going to want to reach out to. So, hey.
It's all presentation. There's a security guard who's offering services. If I was an NIL athlete making the money they're making, I would hire me a security guard every time I go out on the weekend just for the pictures. Come on, man. Like, it's presentation, you know?
Makes sense. Makes so much sense.
Let's do it.
Hey, well, that's our time. Canvas Kings out. Peace.
Awesome.